Hi, my name is Jim. I am a narcissist. I have been diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder because I have narcissistic personality disorder. I am very early on in the diagnosis. I was just diagnosed within the last couple of months. What I want to do with this video or YouTube channel is I want anybody that has any interest in learning about it. There's the type of people that have this disorder are so varied, to let you know. I do have a degree in psychology, but being 49 years old and having just been diagnosed, let's pretend like I don't, because that did not help me in any way, shape, or form acknowledge this. So I'm an auditor, so let's pretend like that's my forte. The type of narcissistic personality disorder that I have makes me uber sensitive. All NPD comes from insecurity, but my type comes from insecurity about just not feeling confident and always feeling inferior. So to give you an example, I always have thoughts that people don't like me, that they're mad at me, and I take any little thing, like I said, uber sensitive, right? So that's the type of NPD that I have. To give you a little delve into what I believe created my narcissistic personality disorder, when I was young, my brother and I were walking back from baseball practice and a car hit him, and he'll be physically challenged for the rest of his life. Just a couple of steps really separated the two of us, and of course, I'm in therapy and had to deal with a lot. Am dealing with a lot of survivor's guilt, as well as survivor's guilt regarding like family and things like that. One of the things I didn't realize was I didn't just feel like my brother blames me for the accident, but everybody, my parents, my friends, my family. No matter how illogical, right? No matter how whatever, that doesn't stop my brain from blaming me, which created my narcissistic personality disorder. That I don't deserve love. I don't deserve affection, and definitely whenever anybody says or does anything, it feeds right into that. So let me talk a little bit about how I perceive that my mind works. I liken it very similar to schizophrenia. So take certain forms of schizophrenia where people hear voices that aren't there. They tell them to do things. So let's say you and I are friends, and you come up and all you do is say hello. My mind starts telling me that the way you said hello, I need to acknowledge that you're mad at me, that I picked up on something and it might not even be there. Like, my mind may completely make it up. Jim, they're mad at you. Did you see the way they said that? Now, at that point, my lack of confidence doesn't allow me to confront you, which would normally be as simple, hey, is everything okay? Right? And even if I do, let's walk through that. I say, hey, is everything okay? And you say yes. My mind says, no, Jim, they're lying to you, right? They're mad at you, but they don't want to hurt your feelings, right? So there's no correct way out of this. My mind's telling me that you're mad at me, you don't like me because I'm terrible, I'm horrible, I'm evil, and it's, nobody would ever like or love me in any way, shape, or form. Why would you, right? So there's nothing you can do in that moment, right? And my mind then just keeps adding on. And what I'll do then is I'll start acting differently toward you. I'll start getting very passive aggressive, right? And I'll make snarky kind of like comments, maybe something along the lines of later in the day, hey, do you want to go out to dinner? Be like, well, why wouldn't I want to go out to dinner? What do you, just like, just real snarky. And I'll find ways, to kind of like start an imaginary fight. And again, there's nothing you can kind of do to stop this, right? My mind's telling me you're mad at me. My mind's telling me, I need to retaliate, because of course it wants to put me in my safe place, right, where I'm not going to get hurt, and we're not going to have a knockdown, drag out fight, you know what I mean? So now take that to my entire life. I never held a job for long. Every relationship I've ever had in my life pretty much ended terribly. I I have friends that, man, I don't know how. The very few that I've had, for long periods of time. Um, yeah, just you don't ever want to be with me in well, let me take that back. I'm on a journey of wellness, right? But you never wanted to be with me in public to see how I treat retail establishment employees. If I call someone on the phone, like a business of any, I just treated all these people just god awful and terrible, really, just in the most disgusting way possible. So really, just imagine every aspect of my life was overtaken with this person's mad at me, and I need to retaliate. Like I said, if we were friends, I might not yell and scream at you, but if we weren't, that's when it was bad. When I'm in public, yelling and screaming at cashiers, cursing customer service people on the phone, those kind of things. So that's the type of narcissistic personality disorder that I have, and there's a whole lot of other things associated with, but the trauma created that. So one of the things that I do now to deal with it is I talk to myself. So when I see you, and again you say hello, and my mind says, Jim, they mad at you, right? At that point, instead of having an immediate response, what I do is I now think about it. Hey, do you have a disorder that might tweak how you're perceiving this right now? Is there any other option other than that person's mad at you? Hey, have you ever been in a situation where you immediately thought a person was mad at you and you were wrong? Hey, if you retaliate based upon this information that your mind told you, what could happen? And I have about 5 or 6 things that I kind of talk to myself in my brain, and it really allows me to not have an immediate response where I'm basing it on what could be false information, and just about most of the time is. And so far I've been very, very successful with it. As these videos go on, I will be sharing more and more interactions, and hopefully letting you know about the successes, and man, really kind of owning the responsibility for the failures, which is it's going to happen. I'm not going to be able to meet and exceed every challenge that I have for the rest of my life. So, yeah, just to kind of sum up, I have this disorder, right? I am in therapy. I am on a journey of wellness. I think it's going to be important for me to point out, not everybody is going to be like me. And the reason I'm doing this videos is one of the things my disorder does is it tells me that I'm unique, and always makes me want to feel like I'm special, and I'm the only one like that. Sometimes, whether it's good or bad. But when I tried to do some research into narcissistic personality disorder, I've about 90% of the information out there is for victims. What this disorder does to people is hurtful, and it's embarrassing to say the damage that I've done to people, and rightfully so. All the support out there for the victims, that's exactly where it should be. But I didn't know anything about this disorder, and I was trying to get information into it, and it was really, really tough. I had joined some groups, and I got to be honest with you, I didn't feel necessarily that everybody was aligning with what I was going through. So if there's people out there with narcissistic personality disorder that have similar traits to mine, I'm just hoping that maybe this reaches them, and they feel like they're not the only one that this type of stuff happens to. And for the victims, maybe it's some insight into why some of the trauma and the traumatic things that happened to them, why it happened, like what was going on from the other side. And hey, and anybody else that just wants any type of firsthand information. Now I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to try not to let my disorder run this channel. So I will not be glory hounding, which is a huge one for me. So if you look at my picture and you're like, all right, this dude's just about as plain as can be, that's on purpose. I don't want to throw a bunch of pictures. Oh, look how amazing I am, and look how awesome I am. That's a really bad trigger for me, so I won't be doing that. I hope you do not ever hear me say things like subscribe, because at that point, that will then, I won't be able to acknowledge whether I'm doing this for the glory hounding of, oh, look how many followers I have, look how amazing I am, look how awesome I'm doing. So I'm not going to be doing that. I'm sure as we go through these, there'll be other things that I'll hopefully identify. But yeah, if at any point anything seems odd or plain, it's hopefully by design and intentional. Again, I am doing these not just for the benefit of others. I'm doing these hopefully for the benefit of myself. This journey of wellness is one that I can't even fathom how awesome, spectacular, and amazing it's going to be. This disorder's taken just about every decent job I've had in my life. I have this disorder, so I took those jobs from myself. Relationships. I've been lucky enough to meet the most phenomenal, amazing, beautiful, spectacular person, and I did just got awful, terrible, unacceptable things. And I did those, and this journey is going to allow me to change and to not be like that in the future. And I'm going to take pride in the person that I'm going to become. And I will tell you that my personal philosophy, and I know I'm early into the journey, is I'm not looking to get cured. It's not out there. The quick fix is not going to happen. I've told my therapist, I was like, man, I want a Goodwill Hunting moment, that scene where he says to him, it wasn't your fault, it wasn't your fault, it wasn't your fault, and then magic, it's all gone. I thought things have happened. I've found out information about my brother's accident that removes all logical blame. I talked to my mom about the survivor's guilt that I feel, and not their fault, but I feel that, from them. And yeah, there is no Goodwill Hunting moment. If I live to be 100 years old, on my deathbed, I will still have these thoughts, and I will still have to control them, and I will still have to not act on them. There's no cure. There is and I'm not sure if you're aware, there's no medication that's prescribed for the actual disorder itself. They have some anxiety, other things associated with the disorder, yes, but there's no current medication of any kind. There is no quick fix. There is you have a disorder, you have to alter your thought process, you have to identify the challenges, you have to be able to deal with them on a one-on-one basis, and don't ever, and I'm talking to myself, don't ever think you're cured, because of course then you go back to the way things were. So that's my first session. Feel free to watch the next as they come. We'll kind of see how many of these I can do, how fast, and then once I get caught up to the future, I will probably just be doing like a once a week check-in and just going over some of the wins and the failures and things like that. Thank you.